Hello everyone. I just thought we'd continue this on with a little bit of a tutorial on how you could use some of the available materials in Waterline to improve optimization. So first of all, let's go about seeing if we can do something about the large ocean on the outside. So if this was a game level or a scene or something, the large ocean, well, it's nice that we could go inside right now. We don't really need it to be like that. Right now everything's showing a bit messed up. Yeah, there we go. We don't really need it. It's not really essential to our scene, so we can just go ahead and replace it with a large plane. Flat, simple plane that's using the Waterline material. So let's go ahead and add our plane right here. And we want something similar to the current surface material that we're using here. So let's just go ahead and find it. Right click and create a duplicate of it. And we'll call it just background C. In fact, let's go ahead and match the height similar to this and delete our Waterline actor. Let's make this a really large size, something that covers up the entire level, so that's quite nice. Let's apply the material that we just made, and right now we're looking at terribleness because the material currently is meant to be working with a mesh actor. But let's open it and see if we can keep as many of these settings as we can while creating a brand new material that will be relatively cheap. So if you scroll down to the material instance, we will find a setting called parent. If we follow the little magnifying glass, it will just take us straight to the folder. And right now, the parent to this material instance is the high Waterline preset. So in this case, seeing as how it's a background element, let's use the low Waterline by simply dragging it and replacing it. And there we go, we now have the low Waterline material. This is not a transparent or translucent material, so it will not show the underwater features that we have. See if I grab something by mistake. Oh yeah, my details tab. So there are some, well, we've managed to keep all of our normal map data presets. There are a couple of differences in terms of coloration, so let's go back and bring in some of that blue back into our background C. So this seems to be alright. Maybe increase the brightness on our subsurface material, and that seems pretty good. Now, sometimes near the horizon we might see this darker line, which is caused by the sort of MIP compression of our normal map in very large meshes. So to fix that, we could either adjust the MIP settings on our current texture, or in the case of Waterline, we actually have the same texture as this, but in 8K. So if we replace that, we could see that the troubled horizon has disappeared. We do just need to adjust the tiling a little bit because our texture size has changed dramatically. So something like 300 pretty much matches what we had before. And right now, our entire background ocean is just a simple plane with a water texture, and we've converted what we had before previously set up in terms of light mask, specularity, metallic, and everything quite easily, because a lot of the all PC Waterline materials and the architectural visualization ones share similar naming conventions and methods for color and visuals. So we've taken care of our main ocean, but let's see if we could do something about this Waterline actor. So this is a more important asset that has a detailed basin floor. So essentially we'd like to keep our translucency. So if we open up that, Let's go to where our material is. Ooh, I have one prepared already, but let's just start from scratch. So right click, we need to duplicate this and call it, well, demo 3 seems alright. And we're going to apply it. So once again, if we open up our demo instance, go to our materials, and we're going to parent it with the medium Waterline instance, which is also translucent, but it's unlit. So right now we could see that we've kept a lot of the translucency settings, normal maps and coloring, but we've lost lighting, so everything's gone a little bit dark. The first thing that we could do to easily fix this is go to our water tint settings and bring some of that light back in. Next, just so we're editing the colors accurately, the unlit version comes with a cube map setting. Now if you remember, we made a cube map for this region while we were making our reflection actor in the previous video. So we're going to select our reflection actor, find our localized cube map that we made, and we're going to add it to the water. And right now the water tint is coloring it, it's giving a bit too strong of a coloration, so let's tone that down a little bit. There is a setting for cube map saturation, so let's lower that to something like 3 or maybe 2, just so it matches the sky a bit closer. Next, we have, well, water tint, I guess we can make it a little bit brighter still. Water shallows color, water deep color, it's pretty much identical to what we had before. Maybe change the depth level a little bit, something like that. Subsurface color is pretty much identical on this one, so I want to keep that as is. Now we have a whole bunch of settings here called highlight color, and highlight color does a simulation of the light as it would hit the surface as if it were lit, and its direction is again driven by our light direction actor. And right now, if we set this to white and bring our highlight strength a bit higher, you can see that we're starting to see some normal based lighting here. We won't see shadows just because the material itself is unlit, but we could get some pretty accurate looking water that's relatively inexpensive. So the water tint, I have to make it a bit more bluish still, and yeah, there we go. So highlight color, wave tile. I was thinking the normal map is a little too strong, it's distorting our reflections too much, so let's lower normal strength to 6, that should do it. And refraction strength and everything is pretty much as is before. Tessellation quality, just identical to the similar material. We can do a similar thing for underwater material. So if we just grab our waterline actor, go to our undersurface material and duplicate that, go to version number 3, add that into the slot and expand it. So we're going to go full screen so all the effects align properly. Going to go scroll all the way down to parenting. We're going to parent it with the medium instance, medium material. Going to grab and drop that. Give it a few minutes to compute, and there we go. This one was slightly more frictionless. I dare say it's pretty much ready to go. As the material is unlit, we did lose the screen space reflections from the floor that we previously had, but again, our material complexity has gone significantly lower. So this was a quick way on how you can optimize the scene by a great amount while still keeping everything relatively similarly looking visual.